Hello and welcome back to K and K Real Talk. I'm Kenny King, one of your fantastic hosts here with your other fantastic host, Kristen McCrovey. Hi, Kristen.
Good afternoon. How are you doing?
I'm great. Well, actually, I'm great and tired, but that's what we're here to talk about. So that's perfect. It's perfect to be great and to be tired. Yeah, we're so excited. To be back and to be together. You guys have had lots of interviews in a row recently, so we're really happy to be here and to be together and to be with you. So if you're new to K&K Real Talk, welcome. We're so happy to have you here. Kristen is the founder of Endometriosis and Me. She's an endometriosis and medical marijuana advocate. So you can find tons of resources at endometriosisandme.com if you haven't already checked out her site and all the goodies and all the information that she has there. And me, I am a holistic health and wellness coach. So I help women with endometriosis squash their symptoms or reduce them and better manage their symptoms holistically and naturally so that they can go out and live the life they want to lead without the diagnosis dragging them down, kind of in a nutshell. That's me. That's what I do. So we're both here for you, and we're both here to help talk about all things women's health, all things just health and wellness in general. And we've had such an interesting road over the past month and a half. Both Kristen and I have been wiped out. Like, and that's why we wanted to talk about this energy drain and this seasonal affective disorder. We want to talk about the seasons of you that involve these deep drains in energy or these lasting drains in energy. And sometimes this shows up as depression. Sometimes this shows up as just sluggishness, just complete tired and it's not your normal. Like whenever I was trying to explain what was going on with me, I kept telling people I feel like I'm being drugged. Like I feel like somebody is drugging me and I can't come to. Like I can't sober up. I can't get my energy all the way back. So we're not talking about, where you're just tired because you've been stressed. That's a real thing, by the way. Like fatigue, chronic low level stress leads to fatigue. That's also very important to discuss. So we're not discounting that. But what we're here to talk about today is understanding a little bit more about, could it be seasonal shifts that cause a shift in your energy? And that is something that you might be experiencing without even realizing it. We were both just mentioning how like it's coming up on spring there. Kristen, you said the snow's melting, right? And for me, we've had so much cloud coverage and rain for such a long time that the last like week or so that the sun's been out, I'm like, I need to get my skin in the sun. Like I'm out. I'm trying to get outside as much as possible. Even seeing my clients outside and doing sessions outside because I'm in Texas. We get like maybe 4 weeks out of the entire year that are nice. So when we get one of those weeks, we like to soak it up. So this energy drain, where it just feels sluggish. Kristen, I know you've been experiencing this also for a while, like all of March. So would you share a little bit about, how long has this been going on for you, what it feels like for you, what you're currently experiencing, and then a little bit about like maybe some of the things that you do to support yourself during this
Um, I don't know what it is, but I've been super sluggish. It feels like how your body feels when you're depressed. You're just like sore and achy and tired and just barely hanging on there. I don't know if it's like S.A.D, seasonal affective disorder. because I do find that I have a little bit of a sluggish period in between changing of seasons. No matter what season it is, my body, like, it takes a long time to like acclimate to the different seasons. So like if I'm used to being cold and we're now getting warm, my body's like, whoa, dude, what's happening right now? Because I have a hard time regulating my body temperature. Like I usually run really warm.
Mm-hmm.
And but I don't know, I feel like it's like a longer this time. I just feel run down, and it sucks because March is Endometriosis Awareness Month, and luckily we had I had lots of material prepped already, and we just did more interviews than we normally would, so that we could take the time to just like relax and kind of recuperate. I feel like I've like done nothing. Like I've done like some work, but like I feel like I'm like really behind
Mm-hmm.
right now.
Yeah. Yeah, and I've been feeling the same way. So to just share, mine came across differently. Like I do notice that with shifting in seasons, I will become affected at times. I can't always determine, is this the change in the season or is this trauma body flashbacks? Because I do have PTSD. I do have some um, trauma related symptoms that show up, like they don't necessarily need any other trigger than the seasons. So a certain month will pass by, I think I'm doing fine, then all of a sudden there's something happening and our body doesn't forget. So it's been really interesting this year for me to monitor. I'm used to it in the fall. The fall is generally where most of my body flashbacks, trauma type stuff lives. So, and I love the fall, by the way. It's also like my favorite time of year. Um, so that's a really interesting, like, sort of duality there. So and I love that we're just having this conversation openly because this isn't like, I'm not declaring that, oh, I have S.A.D, seasonal affective disorder. It's more so I've noticed that this spring shift that's happening right now for me has been very, very difficult. And it started with a new treatment protocol that, I'll talk about in the future, but I had been getting chiropractic care, and that opens up a lot of channels of communication for your body. So when that first, I was like, okay, well, my body's adjusting to a totally different thing. So there were days where the chronic fatigue was so bad. Like I would go to sleep at 3 p.m., wake up at 7 p.m., and then go back to sleep at 9 or 10 and sleep all the way through the night. Like I could have slept forever, like never wanted to get up or wake up. That energy drain of is like a vortex. And it was like I was saying earlier, I felt like I was drugged. And so I thought, okay, well, I just need to be patient with this. And then, as you know, Kristen, I lost my cat, and that was a very hard loss for me. And so I allowed myself to grieve, to really grieve. And I think this is something we should talk about also um, in a future episode, Kristen, is how important allowing ourselves to grieve really and really truly is, and how that actually impacts our body's ability to heal. So I've been like the master at like skirting over grief my whole life. Like I'll like glaze over the surface of grief. And so I was like, no, I'm going to really grieve. I'm going to let myself grieve. And I did. However, the stress of the magnitude of grief that I allowed my body to go through triggered a flare. So then I had an endo flare, and my body at one point went into a fight or flight shock response, which left me shaking uncontrollably and crying, and like I could not. I'm actually pretty good. You guys know I've taught you even how to get to your central nervous system and within 2 minutes turn on that parasympathetic system so that you can begin to calm your central nervous system to handle panic attack, anxiety attack, or just chronic stress, or a moment where your body thinks it's dying and you know that you're not dying. So even with that knowledge, I had a really tough time trying to get myself where I needed to be. Either that, or it just felt like that 2 minutes took such a long time for me. My chiropractor was covering me in a blanket, and she was so kind and sweet. She prayed over me. She was trying so hard to take care of me in that moment. It was really scary. And then after that, going into flare, going into deep, deep, deep energy drain, there were moments where I thought, I don't know if I'm going to come out of this, like ever. I really, really thought. Have you had any moments like that, Kristen, where you this sluggishness of zero energy, just the life zapped from you? Have you had any of those moments this month where you've thought, what if I never come out of this, or I might not come out of this?
I used to think about that a lot, and I really try not to let my thinking go there.
Yeah.
And I always say, like, everything is temporary, this too shall pass.
Yeah.
And I'm usually able to talk myself
Through.
down off the ledge kind of thing.
Yeah.
Or I just let my boyfriend know what's happening, and he will like console me or whatever I need in that moment.
Yeah, that you share it. So if you're having that moment, you share it, and you say it out loud so that you can hear it, and you can and then, because then you can go, okay, well, it doesn't have as much gravity when it feels like it's like a secret inside of you, like a fear, like, oh my gosh. Because I remember thinking that, and I told my husband, I was like, I'm afraid. Like, I love the work that I do with my whole heart. It's energy giving, but in my brain, I couldn't even imagine doing a coaching session with one of my clients on some of those days. Like, I was like, oh my gosh. And that's what scared me. I love the work that I do makes me come alive. It's my favorite thing in the world. And so being like, having that, I don't even know if I can do it. Like, I don't even know if I can be there for my clients anymore. I don't know if I'll come back from this. So just so you know, if you're listening to this, and if you had a moment like this, it's okay if you feel that fear, or if you have one of those thoughts, and it's okay. Say it, write it, share it, so that it's not like underneath your skin festering, and get it out, because the truth is that you can take steps to regain your energy, to regain control. However, it might take some time. And I think this is the most important thing. Like, okay, today is when we're filming this, it's Thursday, March 28th when we're filming this. Now we're going to release this on Monday, but it's Thursday, March 28th. I came back from a trip on Monday, the 18th of February. So from the 8th, we'll call it the 19th of February, all the way until today, it's been like rise and fall, rise and fall. Every time I came up, like for a breath of fresh air, something else would take my knees out from under me. So now, last week and this week, it's like this slow, gradual climb where I'm like, okay, I'm getting better. However, it's not like when you have a cold and then the cold goes away and then you're like, I'm myself again. Like, that's not what it's been like.
Who would give anything for that right now? Like, God.
Right? Like, you would probably pay any amount of money. You'd do anything. Yeah. Me too, sister. Yeah, it's been gradual. So I think one of the things that's important to share and to remember is, whether you do have seasonal affective disorder and the change of seasons, and your body responds to that, and you have changes in your energy level where you either feel depressed or just that total energy drain, or if you simply, at certain times in your life, for whatever reason, either reasons that you know of or reasons that you're totally unaware of, go into this cycle, this downward sort of spiral of just your energy being like It's like the life is sucked out of you. It's really important to honor where you are. Now, I understand that you have stuff to do. I mean, we're all responsible adults. Well, everybody might not be responsible, but I think we all try to be responsible adults.
We pretend
You know,
we're
like,
responsible.
we all have responsibilities. I'll put it that way. We all have responsibilities. We all have things that we want to do that we could be doing. And so that's when it gets really hard, when people depend on us, when we depend on ourselves. And so there's this place where we go, okay, how can I do what needs to get done and honor my energy by giving myself some grace? Sometimes that just means forgiving yourself and not expecting yourself to come with the same energy, force, and fire to handle something that you might normally come to that task with. And then you might need to structure your days around that by asking yourself, like, what do I need? So maybe you need to talk to someone, whether it's a friend or family member that's just there to listen and be supportive, a professional like a counselor or a coach that can meet you where you are and help you with solutions or help you with strategies, tools, ways of looking at what's in front of you. It could be reading a book, journaling, but discovering, like, what do I need? I need a lot of Epsom salt baths. Like, and I will do that sometimes first thing in the morning. That will be like my morning ritual, especially if I feel crummy. So I will draw myself a bath, throw 2 cups of Epsom salts in it. Normally, I'll make sure I have like a window. So I'll do the blinds so I can see the sky. Sometimes, and then, but a lot of times I incorporate some kind of music. And it might be whatever I want to feel on that day. So maybe it's really upbeat, or maybe it's music that just makes me feel like, okay, I'm going to take this 30 minutes and have my bath and relax and just have this relaxing time for me. And then I'll go about doing whatever, And so if you can, scheduling, giving yourself space between appointments or obligations so that you have a little bit of time to transition between for your energy. Nourishing yourself really well. Like, okay, what do I need? I need nutrients so my body can get through this. So I know for me, I've been on it. I'm the worst at consistently taking anything. Doctor says take these antibiotics. I'm the worst at it, but I'll set an alarm and I'll try or whatever. I hate antibiotics. It's a terrible example, but sometimes you got to do what you got to do, right? And this is something I was mentioning to you, Kristen, was I at one point realized that my vitamin D was really, really low. And my doctor had prescribed me like a super mega dose of vitamin D that I had to take like once a week for a certain amount of weeks. And by the way, vitamin D.
My dog.
He's chiming in. Vitamin D by itself can create these types of symptoms. Your energy can tank, and it could just be vitamin D. So it's never a bad idea to go to your doctor and say, hey, can you just do a panel? What's normal?
Rolling.
And so that is something to consider. And in order to get some of those nutrients, like, I know that when I'm feeling crummy, it is not easy to pay attention to like perfectly preparing a healthy menu and healthy food all the time, because the last thing I want to do is all that stuff. So what we can do, though, is find ways for shortcuts to get ourselves what we need. So I just want to say that, like, if you can make yourself, please, by all means, like, nourish your body and drink lots of water so that your body can flush out what it needs to flush out and give you what it needs to give you. But when it's not possible to do that, find the shortcuts. Drink a lot of water. Make smoothies. That's a great way to get tons of nutrients. Like, you throw in a handful of spinach, you throw in some frozen berries, you throw in a protein powder, you just throw it in, you drink it. You don't even have to chew. And so, like, So that's a way, making a really nutrient dense smoothie using some greens, using, some fruit, using some protein, getting you some fat. You could do a little bit of avocado in it. If you do just like a tablespoon, you won't taste it or anything. But you could do a little bit of avocado. You could do a little bit of coconut oil. You could do some chia seeds. You see how many chia seeds went in my last one? I was like, oh gosh, the whole thing's black. I got hand like pour happy on it. I don't measure anything. I just pour it all in there. So that was really funny. Still good. I still drink it. So those are some of the things for those little quick tips. Some of the things that I did was I was like, okay, I'm not going to put the pressure on myself to eat perfectly, but I know how I eat affects how I feel. So I'm going to have a smoothie every single day that's packed with tons of nutrition. I'm going to take my vitamins that I have. I'm going to take my gut health stuff. And I'm going to drink my water. So it's like, how do you get your needs met? How can you do something calming that honors where you are and helps you feel like you're taking care of yourself, like a hot bath or whatever, a massage, that, your food, your water, and then vitamin nature. There's a window. For those of you watching, there's a window right behind my computer, so I'm pointing because I'm looking at the trees right now. So, but vitamin nature, yeah, it is kind of nice. I mean, you still see my street, and like there's houses across the street. There's a tree. When it blooms, that's all I see are the green leaves and flowers of this tree. It's really cute.
Me too. I can't wait. Oh my God. I feel like I need to like lay in the sun so bad right now. Oh, and we've had maybe one sunny day, but it was still like, it was snowing still. And I'm like, just give me the sun.
Yes. And I love that because that's been me too, like get outside, get in the sun. So, vitamin nature is so, so, so important. Getting that sun on your skin. So whenever you can, take advantage. And this part's hard when you don't want to get out of bed. So I don't want to pretend like, it's like you look outside and you see the sky and it might be pretty, but you also don't want to move and don't have energy. I'm not going to even pretend like that's easy for you to decide, I'm going to go take a walk outside, because obviously moving your body, going for a bike ride, walking in nature, if you could just get outside, if it's nice and you can get your body in the sun and let your legs be in the sun, let your arms be in the sun, and just soak that in. It's so, so helpful and crucial. So one of the things we decided to do was we went camping last weekend. And the weather only permitted the first night, so we stayed the first night. And I was so excited about last Saturday, and then like the winds came in, and it was just like cloudy and windy, and so we packed up. But I'm not losing hope. We're gonna get out there like every weekend, I think, and try to just enjoy whatever outside time we can, because here before too long, it'll be blistering hot out there. So. Oh, it's Texas. But
it's like I'm imagining the sun on my face right now, and I just
I wish I could send it to you. If you could come through the computer, I'd just put you right outside in my front yard.
It's still so gray here, and we have a couple little buds on the tree, but it's gonna still be rainy for a while before things are all green. So that's sucky, but.
Speaking of, so if you do identify with seasonal affective disorder, if you notice that, and this isn't just people call like the winter blues, but for everybody, that's not what it looks like. It doesn't always come in winter. It doesn't always look like winter blues. If you notice this, instead of don't try to think, oh, well, it'll pass, and you know what, it will pass and you get to do what you want to do, but it's also useful to take action. And it's just like asking, what do I need? And then take some action. You don't have to change everything overnight, but light therapy is another therapy that people use. And in fact, I've never used one of these things, but you know how they have lamps that in the morning they come on, and it's supposed to help set your body clock to like wake up better. I really probably should buy one of these because I'm like the worst waker upper in the world. Um, I'm the girl who has like seven, like I hit snooze as many times. Like I've set 7 alarms and then I might hit snooze also.
7 times.
Yeah. And I still might not get up in the morning. I mean, I'll just see how I feel, So it really does depend. But I'd be curious if those of us who do, I might just run this experiment on myself, looking into one of those lamps, because I'm wondering if you could use those lamps to support you daily, even if you don't need it for waking up. I wonder if, considering, I know it's not the same light therapy as if you went to a facility and received light therapy, but I'm just wondering if that would, how that would impact that. It wouldn't be a terrible thing to try. But light therapy is one thing that helps seasonal affective disorder, as well as some people do medications and do psychotherapy and do, all of the different things. I actually, funny enough, me going through this as it's been, because I got so wiped out, I actually emailed my therapist and said, hey, can we start back in April? I normally see her every other week. And I just decided to skip out in March and to see her in April. So that'll be interesting. I probably should have just went. I should have just said, change my mind, something's wrong. But my body's coming out of it. It's just such a slow process. And I think that's something we forget. If we go through something, an endo flare or a bout of depression or something, like we sometimes tend to think just like that, when I have a cold, then I don't have a cold, I'm supposed to feel fantastic. But there's a gradual process that tends to happen when we're getting back to ourselves. And so I've been telling people I'm getting better and better every day. And that's true. And there's days where I'll have this great window of energy, like maybe it's between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. And then I'll just tank. And so I was telling Kristen before, and by the way, guys, the reason we decided to talk about this topic is because we were talking about it before we decided to record. We were just catching up because we've both been out of it and haven't chatted in a while. And so we thought, why don't we talk about this? Because we know we're not the only ones going through this. So we hope that, we didn't plan to talk about this actually. This is not our topic for today, but we wanted to share, this is where we really are. Like, this is how we really have been feeling over the last month and a half. Both of us have been going through this sort of at the same time. And so we've been like texting back and forth, and it's like one day it's like, oh, I'm getting better. And then the next day it's like, I'm just out. Like, I'm sluggish. And so we've been kind of scheduling around, where we are. And so I was telling Kristen, what I could normally do in a day is not where I am right now. And so having those expectations is unrealistic of myself. So now is normally two like big things, like two things that require maybe what would be an hour of my energy, like full focus. I do like two big things a day, and the rest I just have to ease it. Or if I have one busier day, the next day I carve in some time for a rest. So Tuesday I had a full coaching day. And so it was my biggest coaching day that I've had since all this started. I've been really spreading out all my clients throughout the week. Normally I see all my clients on Tuesdays and Fridays, and I put everybody in 2 days, and normally there's maybe spillover. If I have, too many in one day, I'll spill over into Wednesday or Thursday. But I hadn't been doing that because I couldn't do more than 2 sessions in one day. So Tuesday was my first day to take on a full client load since February. So Wednesday and today, I've started my days very slowly and did more in the afternoon than in the morning. And I think it's just it's just honoring your energy and like trying to utilize your strengths and be mindful of when you need rest. Yeah. Kristen, do you do anything in particular like that where you just sort of schedule around like how you're feeling, or how do you do that?
I put everything in my phone calendar, and I'll do like the most important things, or the things that are like non-negotiable, basically. Like if I have an appointment or something, I'll do those things, and then I find like I've been moving things a lot, like
Yeah.
things like reviews that don't have specific deadlines that I've been pushing off. I'll push it the next day, the next day, the next day, till I finally get it done.
Mhm. Yeah. To just do it, taking that process of like scheduling based on where your energy is and sort of giving yourself the space and the grace to just, here's what I could do today. Like, this is what, because guys, I'm like an achiever. Like, I'm a go getter. Like, I do shit. Like, that's like
Me
my
too,
MO.
usually.
Huh?
Me too, usually.
Yeah. So it's weird if you're one of those people that you like go out and you're ready to crush it and you're a go getter and you just do stuff, like, and then you experience this, it's hard not to feel guilty. Like it pops up where there's like shame or guilt. And so I'm like, it comes up like I'm not doing enough. Like I should have done so much more. And that's what you want to be mindful of. That's that space where you get to come back and just go, this is what I got for today. You know, it reminds me of that. I think I gave it to somebody. That book. Where's it at? Oh, I have it. Hold on. Everybody's gonna see my sweatpants. Not that anybody cares. Yeah, I like to wear sweatpants when I'm home and in front of the computer because nobody knows. Okay, so this book, this is a fantastic book, by the way. It's called The Four Agreements. Yeah, The Four Agreements. It's by Don Miguel Ruiz. And it's really short. Like you could literally read this in one afternoon, or in 2 days, like depending on when you read. But one of the agreements is always do your best. And even just in the front flap, I'm just going to read you. He said, your best is going to change from moment to moment. It will be different when you are healthy as opposed to sick. Under any circumstance, simply do your best and you will avoid self-judgment, self-abuse, and regret. So I love the principles of this book, because it's very simple, but it's transformative. And that do your best, like we can be so hard on ourselves, but our best it doesn't mean like full throttle, hustle like crazy, never rest, burning the candle at both ends. That's not doing your best. That's asking to get sick, and that's asking for burnout. So if that's what was happening before your energy drain, I'm going to make that like a term now, energy drain. Then that's probably what led to that vortex of your energy getting sucked out and the life getting sucked out of you. So keeping in mind, like always do your best, and your best looks different. Some days your best is I'm hustling, I'm crushing it, I'm killing it. I've got all these things I'm doing today, super productive. And some days it's very like, okay, I've done this, I've done that. I'm going to rest. I'm going to take care of myself and my body and breathe and sleep. Sometimes that's your best, right? So I think it's important. I think it's important that we take stock that our best is going to change depending on how we feel and where we are. And I do just need to go ahead and say, as much love that goes into all of this, if we choose to consistently eat crappy food and don't drink water and don't move our bodies and take care of ourselves, we're gonna keep feeling crappy. Because energy, we do cultivate it. So there's a difference in I don't take care of myself and I'm tired all the time. That's different than what Kristen and I are sharing today. We're talking about this not necessarily because she did this and I do this too, where we go, okay, am I not drinking enough water? Am I not, is it the food I'm eating? Like we go through this checklist and we take stock of how well am I taking care of myself? Am I moving my body? Am I, we go through. And if that's not the thing, and this is coming from somewhere else, this is where we take a look at, okay, this is energy drain. This is seasonal affective disorder. This is my body's healing because I just went through a whole lot of crap and a flare and all of these things. So I want to be really clear. We're not saying, hey, just honor where you are and you don't ever have to take care of yourself and it sucks, but just stay there. No, like fight like hell to feel good in your body. We want you to feel good in your body. So fight for that. Take care of yourself and respect your limitations and respect when your body needs more time to heal and like kind of come into a space of, what do you call it? It's almost like a reset. It's like you're resetting.
Homeostasis.
Yeah. Homeostasis. So I hope that made sense, but I just want to make sure, because I know that some of you, I mean, if you're listening, you care about making changes to help your body. And so we want to be here to help you make even more of those changes and offer you that grace of saying, hey, how about let's release the self-judgment and let's focus on feeling good. All that being said,
I've totally been the person who ate fast food every day and moved little to none. And I'm now moving towards eating healthier and moving. And I have had more energy overall.
Yeah.
But I still have endometriosis.
Yes.
I still have chronic fatigue.
Yes. I love
Better is possible.
What was that last part?
Better is possible.
Better is possible. Always. Yes. Thank you for that clarity. I want to share something funny with y'all that I just have to share because I saved this earlier. And I don't know if you can see it. It says, can you even see that? It says,
bitches complain about being fat but don't want to stop eating unhealthy food or work out. It's me. I'm bitches.
bitches complain about being fat but don't want to stop eating unhealthy food or work out. It's me. I'm bitches. That cracks me up. So it's funny, but if that's you, not about being fat, but just about your symptoms, like if that's you, own that shit so that you can start changing it. There's no shame here. Just own it. Like, yeah, I'm not eating well. I'm not drinking water. I'm not taking care of myself. I'm not moving my body. And I feel like crap. Own that, and you can start changing that one step at a time. You don't have to change overnight. Bless you.
Oh, excuse me.
And on the other hand, if you're noticing these energy drains, seasonal affective disorder, seasonal depression, if you're noticing shifts in yourself and you can't quite pinpoint, why would this be? That's what we're urging you to explore and to pay attention to. And to, if you need it, get support and help, because you don't have to suffer alone and go through it alone. You don't have to be alone. Better is possible. It might mean teeny tiny steps. It might take some time, and it's most likely going to take longer than you would like for it to. Hello.
Or it pretty much will.
Huh?
Or it pretty much will.
Yeah, absolutely. And so giving yourself like that honesty and clarity so that you can strive for better and make some decisions in the direction of how you want to feel versus how you feel right now. Yeah. All right. Well, lovelies, we're so glad you tuned in. As always, please don't hesitate to reach out if there's a particular health, wellness, life topic you want to talk about. We do focus a lot on endo. However, we want to be here to support all of you, your whole self. And there's nothing in the world that isn't connected to your health. I promise you. So if there's any topic that you're like, man, my life would get better if I just had some steps or felt like solidarity with some other people going through this. let us know. You can always reach out to me. You can, of course, find me on Facebook. You can find my coaching page. It's Kenny Rochelle Coaching. Um, and you can find Kristen endometriosisandme.com. And then, of course, there's the Endometriosis and Me Facebook page and group. And then both of us are also in the Endometriosis Nourish, Flourish, Thrive closed group. So we have tons of ways you can reach out to us and let us know what's going on with you, what you would like support with, or to learn more about, or to hear an expert's point of view on a particular topic. We're always looking for experts to bring in to teach you and to work with all of us. So we are here to love you, to support you, to give you solutions and options. So please don't hesitate if you want us to talk about something that nobody's talking about or that people are talking about, but you want us to talk about. All right. Well, Kristen, it's been such a pleasure. As always, I'm so glad we both felt good enough to just be here today. Even though we're still not 100%, we're here and we showed up and we did it. And so, and that's because we love all of you. So thank you so much for tuning in, and we will see those of you watching next time, and we will be here for those of you listening next time. So bye, guys. Have a wonderful rest of your week.
I